Hello everyone. From past few days, my interest had automatically a bit diverted towards knowing more and more about the ancient times as well as the modern world history, and finding a point in the timeline where there can be a basic connection established between the ancient mythology and the proven history. Of course, this research will involve few assumptions, and if there is a point that will prove these minor assumptions as wrong, then obviously my whole study will go in a wrong direction involving rework. But since I'm from India and I'm supported with great people of this country who are ready to ignore the logical study based on proofs and put all the points mentioning the happenings of Ramayana and Mahabharata as invalid, will be straight away dragged to the court of law. Hence, I'm feeling much protected in presenting my points behind the Yuga theory and where we exactly are on this timeline of Yuga Chakra. So in order to know this project, firstly, we need to know all the references that have been taken into account. Starting with the theory of Yuga Chakra, this Earth is revolving around the Sun, and so are the other planets. And this complete setup of all the planets revolving on their orbits around the Sun is known as the solar system. We all know that. But besides this, this complete solar system is also revolving around a super sun or the ether. So this revolution of the solar system around this super sun or ether takes 25,920 years to complete one revolution around. So the yugas are divided on the basis of the distances between the solar system and the ether during this complete revolution. When the solar system is closest to the ether, it is the Satyug. Then it moves a bit far away, it's Treta. A bit more far, it's Dwapar. And when it is farthest from the ether, it is the dark age known as Kali Yuga. So I'm not putting much efforts in proving this Yuga theory, since there had been already so many researches completed where this theory has been proved as correct, and I have also added supporting links in this post which proves the authenticity of the Yuga theory and this time taken by the solar system to revolve around the ether. So let's move ahead. This period of 25,920 years is equal to two kalps. So what is kalp? Kalp is basically set of four yugas, means Satyug, then Treta, then Dwapar, then finally Kalyug. So this complete timeline of four yugas is known as one kalpa. And since 25,920 years is equal to two kalpas, hence the duration of one kalpa will be equal to just half of it, which is 12,960 years. So these 12,960 years are further divided into four sets. So it's not like if we want to know the duration of Satyug, then we'll straight away divide 12,960 by 4. It's not like that. If we look at the geometrical shape of this ellipse and the position of the ether, it is divided in the ratio of 4:3:2:1. Means Satyug will be of longest duration. It will be covering 40% of the complete kalpa, which is 5,184 years. Then Treta will be covering 30%, which is 3,888 years. Then Dwapar will be 2,592 years. And finally Kali Yuga, which will be of smallest duration, and it is 1,296 years, which is the 10% of one complete kalp. So now there is a big misconception in India and even outside that after Kali Yuga there arrives Satyug. But this is not true actually. If logically you see at this diagram that Kali Yuga is the age when the solar system is farthest from the ether, then how suddenly can it come closest to the ether just after the end of Kali Yuga while it is revolving in an elliptical path? Hence, the concept of Yuga Chakra actually says that after the completion of 1296 years of Kali Yuga, there is another set of Kali Yuga comprising of another 1296 years, and this second set of Kali Yuga is known as ascending Kali Yuga, where the solar system had entered the second half of the revolution and is now moving closer towards the ether. And then after that, it is Dwapar, Treta, Satyug, and so on. So now when we are aware of this yoga chakra, and the next question which comes to our mind is that in which yuga are we presently, in means in this complete timeline, where are we currently? So to find an answer to it, we need to move to the next segment of this project, where I'll be discussing about the Krishna era and the end of Dwapar Yuga, the end of descending Dwapar Yuga. So as per Mahabharata, the end of Dwapar Yuga and the beginning of Kali Yuga was dated along with the death of Krishna, which means that if we are able to find the date of end of Krishna era, we will also be able to predict the year when Kali Yuga started and prevailed for next 2592 years. 2592 years is double of 1296 years, which is ascending Kali Yuga plus 1296 years of descending Kali Yuga. So as per the researches I went through and the various carbon dating done for the remnants of the Dwarika city beneath the sea, as well as many of the things which were found in Kurukshetra or Indraprasth, which is current Delhi and Haryana. So also the astronomical calculations which were made as per the scriptures. So we find that from all this, we find that the end of Dwapar Yuga and the Krishna era was somewhere around 3200 BC to 3000 BC. As per the astronomical calculation, the exact date is somewhere around February 3102 BC. That's the exact year. But still, I'll take a margin of around 200 years and I'll take it as from 3200 BC to 3000 BC. Again, I'm again not moving in proving this theory of the end of Krishna era, because it has been already proven in various research papers, and links to them is again attached here in the post. So now moving back to the Yoga Chakra theory and considering the period of 3200 BC to 3000 BC as the end of Dwapar Yuga. So now if we try to add 5184 years to the end of Dwapar Yuga, then the year comes out to be somewhere the present days, which is somewhere around 2000 AD to 2100 AD, which is the current century, the present. So why I added 5184 years? Let me explain this. So after the end of the descending Dwapar Yuga, there were 1296 years of descending Kali Yuga, and after that there were again 1296 years of ascending Kali Yuga. And after that, there were 2592 years of ascending Dwapar Yuga. So the total of 2 times 1296 plus 2592 makes 5184 years to the end, from the end of Krishna era. So no wonder it came out to be the present days, where we are either at the end of Dwapar Yuga or have already entered the transitional phase from Dwapar to ascending Treta. Yes, that's true. We are in Dwapar Yuga as per this theory. So let's take 3102 BC as the exact date of the beginning of Kali Yuga. We find that somewhere by 2082 we will be at the exact end of Dwapar Yuga. So now there are a bunch of other organizations as well as individuals who have already proved this as true, that we are in the Dwapar Yuga, but still the misconception among the people of India prevails that we are in the dark age of Kali Yuga and it will be there existing for another hundreds of thousands of years more. So far, I have just been mentioning all the studies that we have already done behind our existence in Dwapar Yuga. But going further in this article, we will have some good discussion to convince ourselves with the fact that this is not the dark age, this is not the Kali Yuga. Rather, Kali Yuga had already passed around 2500 years back. So now again, the set of questions which arises in my mind, I'll try to share them with you all also. So are we in Kali Yuga? If yes, then how come I'm able to use technology so much where I can travel hundreds of thousands of miles within few hours? Why can I reach to other planets in this phase, in this age of dumbness? How can a common man put his thoughts to billions of people with the help of technology media within no time? Why the overall GDP is at a good shape with having a process oriented method of working and contribution to the society throughout the world? Why the concept of large scale loots and demolitions had stopped? Why people are not hunting wild animals for personal enjoyment? Why a woman is getting empowered and being given an equal level in the society? Why the medical facilities and technology had increased the average survival age of a human? Why robotics and automation have replaced the human efforts? Why artificial intelligence and machine learning is now gradually replacing the human workload? Why people now are more conscious towards diet, being vegan, eating healthy and staying fit than never before? Why there is hardly any dictatorship existing throughout the world? Why finances and economy today is allowing a common man to grab a loan or an investment much than he deserves? Why cloud platform had availed this whole world on tips of our fingers? Why a big man is no more considered as strong? And finally, why the West is at its peak of development when compared to India, who was the master of all the knowledge existing few thousand years back, when West was nothing but a forest comprising of a bunch of uncivilized tribes. This is the Kal Chakra, which proves the circle of growth and fall, the natural system of balance, and obviously a certain level, basic level of common consciousness shared by all the people in a certain era. Considering developments are taking place everywhere, maybe a bit slow here in the east and various other parts, but these parts used to flourish few thousands of years back when the other parts in the west were nothing. So if we really go through a deep study of history, we will find that after 3102 BC, which was the end of Dwapar, there were various civilizations found. Most commonly, it was the Mesopotamian civilization and the Indus Valley civilization. The reason why our historians and archaeologists call it a civilization is because the fossils and the remnants found here were a bit more decent in nature when compared to that of a caveman, whereas the age was actually much more like Kali Yuga, where there was a very little sense of planning, business and social security. All these so-called civilizations also went through a phase of a rise and then fall. Why they experienced a fall where learning is a gradual uplifting process? Why these civilizations ended like this somewhere around 1700 to 1500 BC, which as per the Yuga Chakra was the duration of the end of descending Kali Yuga and beginning of ascending Kali Yuga. Now moving to the ascending Kali Yuga. Indo-Aryan invasion was the phase of ascending Kali Yuga. Yes, where for the first time the written proofs of Vedas, Puranas and epics came into existence. And trust me, this version of the scriptures is just 1% of what these scriptures were actually in Satyuga. There is another theory in Puranas which says that Kali Yuga will end with the 10th avatar of Vishnu, the avatar after Krishna and Dwapar. The avatar will be the Kalki avatar and will mainly clear the minds of the people of that era and will introduce them with a common path of truth. Now, if we see with reference to the Yuga Chakra, the end of Kali Yuga lies somewhere from 500 BC to 250 AD, which was the era of Buddha, Jesus, or even Prophet, I would say. These were the people who basically introduced a sense of spirituality to the people, and now where more than two-third of the world believes in Buddha, Jesus and Prophet. Whereas the rest of the world is an atheist or maybe from a religion which follows almost the same teachings. So I won't dare to say that Buddha or Jesus were avatars of Vishnu, but somewhere at the end of Kali Yuga, there were preachers who came into existence, who discovered a bunch of modern world religion which the complete world follows today with pride. And again, somewhere the age of atheist will arrive where people will give more importance to a good lifestyle than having a good religion. So post Kali Yuga, after this Kali Yuga, somewhere around 500 BC to 250 AD, the Dwapar Yuga started, the ascending Dwapar Yuga started, and it began to start at its own pace, where after reaching somewhere around 1300 AD, we entered into the Renaissance period, which was again a revolution. The Renaissance period existed from 1300 to 1600 AD, and it completely flipped, it completely changed the whole world. Then came the discovery of electricity, magnetism, and then came the discovery of calculators, analytical engine, computers, and now what we are from it currently. Look at this age, look at this era, where we are currently. So looking at this timeline chart, we can't say that we are in a dark age. Rather, the dark age had already passed many thousand years back. So I would like to stop here for now. In my next assignment, in my next discussion, I will be discussing about the first half of the history. Here I have covered the second half of the history, which is the descending and ascending Kali Yuga, as well as the ascending Dwapar Yuga, which is the current days. But in my next discussion, I will be discussing about the first half of the history, which is the descending Satyug, then this descending Treta Yuga and descending Dwapar Yuga. I will be discussing about the carbon datings of the Ram Setu, the Adams Bridge in the Indo-Pak Strait, in the Indo-Sri Lankan border. I'll be discussing about the carbon dating of the Ram Setu, which was built there. I'll be discussing about the end of Ice Age, which resulted in the beginning of Treta Yuga. So many facts and figures I'll be presenting in my next session. So for now, leaving everything upon you. Whatever doubts, whatever queries, or whatever counter statements, counter questions you have out here, I welcome them. Let's have a review of it and discuss it further. And there may be a case that the theory which I am talking about may be wrong, and somewhere you have better facts and better points to convince me convince me with a point which is something not which is I'm talking about. So let's have an open discussion about it. Share your opinions here in the comments below, or you can also mail me at rbtaniket@gmail.com. I've added my email ID also there. So leaving it all upon you guys. See you in the next session. Thank you.